Hey, it's Sarah with Loaves and Dishes, and in today's video, I am going to be showing you how to make these Southwest egg rolls. These are based off of some egg rolls that Chili's, the restaurant, used to have. I'm not sure if they still have them, but my husband ordered them one time, and I was like, oh, I know how to make those. I can make those better at home, and here we are. Okay, so I've got some bell peppers. I'm going to use 2. The great thing about this recipe is that you can kind of use whatever you like. So I had an orange and a red bell pepper. That's what I used. You could use a green bell pepper. Just use whatever you have. You could use a different pepper. Like if you wanted to use, say, like a poblano pepper or something like that, you could use that in its place. I don't know if I would go with too spicy of a pepper because these egg rolls are very mild on the spice, but if you wanted to amp up the spice, there are ways you could do that by adding and using different kinds of peppers and adding chilies or, that sort of thing. And so I'm just giving those a rough chop. You just want everything to be kind of uniform in size. Now I'm cutting up a jalapeno. This is an area where you can add some more spice. I'm removing all of the seeds and the pith in the white stuff in the jalapeno, and I'm wearing gloves because I don't mess with jalapenos. You never know, like if you're going to get one that's like super spicy or not super spicy. And I'd rather not take the risk. I've had like my fingers burn for days after cutting up a jalapeno, and it's just not a fun experience. So I have this jalapeno, I'm cutting it up. I'm cutting it up very small because I want this to diffuse. I don't want somebody to take a bite of one of these egg rolls and get just like all jalapeno. Okay, so now I'm cooking my chicken. I used some chicken tenders for this because, again, that's what I had. If you had like a rotisserie chicken, that would be great, and it would be a really easy way to do this with being able to cook less. But I just had these chicken tenders, and so it only took like 7 minutes total to fry these up. And I'm seasoning them with some salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, cumin, chili powder, and smoked paprika. The salt and pepper is in that seasoning mix. I used some of the Morton's Nature seasoning, which if you like a seasoning mix, that's one I really recommend because it's good. You can put it on anything. And I feel like the ratio to like salt and pepper and garlic and onion is really good in that seasoning mix. I put it on lots of things. Okay, so I just cooked my chicken. I seasoned it in the pan, and then I'm going to season the other side. And when it's done, I took it off the heat. Okay, so in the same pan, because I'm not going to dirty up another pan, I put the onions and the bell peppers in. And the other great thing about using the same pan is it's going to get some of like the chicken essence like all over the vegetables too. It's more flavor. And I just seasoned with the same things. I'm just doing like a little sprinkle of everything, about like maybe half a teaspoon of each thing. Not too much, but enough so that everything gets seasoned. Then I added a can of drained black beans, and I added about 2 cups of frozen corn. I went a little heavy on the corn. You could also use just a can of corn if that's what you had, but I had some frozen corn that I used. And I'm just mixing that up, and I'm just heating up the frozen corn essentially. Okay, so once that gets done, I took that off the heat, and now I am chopping up these chicken tenders. Like I said, if you had a rotisserie chicken that was like already shredded, this would be so much easier. But if you want to actually cook the chicken for these egg rolls, this is what I would do. I just wanted to make sure these were pretty small. Okay, so I added those to the bowl, and then I added 1 cup each of Monterey Jack cheese and pepper jack cheese. The cheese limit does not exist. You could add way more cheese and it would be delicious. And you could just do pepper jack if you wanted it to be a little bit spicier. Also, you could add some cayenne pepper if you wanted it to be spicier. So I just gave that a mix. Now I've got my egg roll wrappers, and you could also do this with a tortilla. I just wanted to do egg roll wrappers because they're thinner and I think they can get crispier. I put on a couple tablespoons of the filling, and I'm very gently rolling it in the center, tucking in the sides, making sure that everything is like meeting, everything is like tucked in really nice. I put a little water on there to kind of seal it up, and then I roll it up tightly, but not so tight that it's going to rip. And then a little bit of water on the edges. And I did that a bunch of times, but I took out all the footage because it was just too much. So now I've got some oil in my pan, and I'm just going to fry those. Now, if you were going to like deep fry them, that's great. You just stick them in the oil and leave them alone. But I did a shallow fry, and if you do a shallow fry, you just want to be very careful when you go to move them. And the trick is to don't touch them until it's been a few minutes. And when you do go to touch them with your tongs, be very gentle. If it sticks at all, leave it alone, because otherwise the egg roll wrapper it'll rip, and then you'll have egg roll filling all over your pan. You just want to be very, very gentle with them. And I turned them a couple of times and let them cook a couple minutes on each side, and then I take them out and I let them drain on a plate with a paper towel. And I, as I took one out, I put my second batch in. So, but these were really, really easy to make. Like, the video makes it seem like it's a lot, but it's really not, especially because at the grocery store you can get pre-cut up bell peppers and pre-diced jalapenos, so you don't even really have to dice anything. But there they are. If you want to see more, be sure to check out Loaves and Dishes, and thanks for watching.